Hey, how you doing? Welcome. I'm Dave Allred, the Real Barman, owner and CEO of Bar Patrol, as well as creator of the Real Bar Course. I'm super excited to have you here for the free video training course on how to become a bartender. And I want to say thanks for being here. I know your time is valuable, so I'm going to make you a couple of promises right off the bat. One, I'm not going to waste your time. Two, I'm going to give you a lot of valuable information that you can use, which will hopefully motivate you to take action towards becoming a bartender and joining our army of samurai bartenders, which is my entire goal here. For those of you who don't know me, we have plenty of time for that. I know I want to find out what you're all about, where you're at in life. For me, I have 3 jobs. 4 if you include coaching basketball. 1, I run the Dueling Piano Bar here in Danville, California. 2, I own a bar consulting business, which I help bar owners make more profit. And 3, I have helped hundreds of people with absolutely no experience become bartenders and move on and make a truckload of money. Now, I love my bar in Danville. I love helping bar owners make more money, but helping people become bartenders is by far the most rewarding of my 3 jobs. It's also the most predictable because I have a step-by-step process that they go through, which works every time. So now I receive messages, I receive photos from my students who get their first bartending job. It's just awesome, super exciting. I show it to my wife now, she gets all excited, and it is seriously fun, which is an oxymoron. Seriously, fun, oh well. So listen, if you're here watching this today, I assume that you at least have a mild interest in becoming a bartender, which is fan-frickin-tastic, because bartending is one of the greatest jobs in the world. You already know that. That's why you're here. It's entertaining as hell. The money's fantastic, and you can't put a price on the people you meet or the stories and the experiences you have and sharing that with other people. However, I know that most, if not all of my students had a lot of doubts when they first started. And maybe that's you too. Maybe you're sitting there right now wondering if this is the path for you. Maybe you're too shy, or maybe the thought of taking on something new and doing a crash course is just a daunting task you're not sure if you're ready to take on right now. Maybe, like the majority, your number one concern is this whole no experience thing. That is in fact the number one fear that most people have. Or maybe you have some limiting beliefs. Maybe you think you're too tall or short or fat or skinny or ugly or whatever that is. Maybe you are concerned about memorizing all those drinks. How many do you have to memorize? How do they do it? I get that. Maybe you're concerned that the manager or your coworkers are going to find out exactly how little you know once you get behind the bar. Which reminds me, in video 2, we're going to be talking about those cocktail recipes and what you can do to memorize those drinks and get them in your head so you'll be ready to go. So make sure to keep an eye on your inbox when that comes out, because this is in fact one of the main fears that people have, is memorizing the drinks, but I take care of that for you. So if any of this sounds familiar, if you have your doubts but you're really interested in becoming a bartender, you're in the right spot. I have personally helped hundreds of people become a bartender who are in the exact same spot you're sitting in right now. So this first video is sort of a, hi, how you doing? Let's get to know each other. But there is an area that I want to talk about. It's one of the bigger questions I get, and is that, should you go to bartending school? I mean, you're here, right? You're listening to me ramble on, so you must have some sort of interest in getting a course that will teach you some skills and knowledge so you can move into bartending, which is great. I mean, investing in yourself is one of the greatest things you do. One of the biggest travesties we have is people don't use their savings or their credit card to invest in themselves. They spend it on clothes or shots for their friends, and that money goes away and they don't invest in themselves. This is super important. You should be investing in your education so you can make more money, and then you can go buy clothes and shots for your friends. However, you simply have to make sure you're making a wise investment choice. So I want to discuss a few things that will help you out when you're choosing a course of training. Now, I want to make myself clear. I'm not here to just bag on bartending schools and say bad, bad, bad. I mean, my course is basically an online bartending school. It's just different than most of them. However, I want to make sure that when you go into this with your eyes open, because what some of these bartending schools are promising and what they're delivering are completely 2 different things. With that said, let's talk about the 3 biggest bartending school lies and myths. Maybe you know about them, maybe you don't. We're going to talk about them. We're going to go jump on the computer, and then we're going to jump back here and talk about video 2, which you won't want to miss. It's all about cocktail recipes. How many should you memorize? How do you memorize them? What's the best method? I'm going to show you in that video. It's straight out of the Real Bar Course, and you get it here for free. So let's go jump on the computer. Okay, welcome to behind the scenes, behind my computer screen. We're going to go over the 3 biggest bartending school myths and lies to make sure that you're making good choices and good decisions on your path to becoming a bartender. And first off, let me emphasize that I am not declaring bartending schools evil or immoral or even without value. All right, the problem comes with the end result and what they promise and some of the lies they do. First of all, let's talk about the pros and cons of bartending school, because there are some pros. They teach you a lot of drink recipes. That's number one. If you want to learn a lot of drink recipes, go to bartending school. They love them. Number two, they do teach the fundamental skills of bartending, and in fact, this is one of their greatest strengths. They have real bartenders back there. They're going to teach you how to muddle and how to shake and how to stir. It's kind of what they do. That's their big area, is the skills of bartending. And then they often have a simulated bar for you to practice. If you go to a brick and mortar bartending school that you actually drive to, they will often have these simulated bars. I'm not that crazy about them. It's all kind of flair, because you can practice at home. Every bar you work at is going to be different. Everything's going to be located in a different spot. There's going to be different rails, different shells, different areas. And so I don't know that a simulated bar really does that much for you, but it's kind of cool to be able to practice there anyway. And now moving on to the cons. As I mentioned, they can be overpriced for the value you get. That's why we're looking into them more closely. And then they make these mocktails with colored water, which is made from food coloring. So you can't even taste the cocktails. You can't taste whether they're good or not. I'd rather have you practice at home and make them for your friends, or make them at a party. Have them taste them, you taste them, get feedback, and then try to make them better. You use that to your advantage. And then most of the focus, like I said, is on the skills and not how to actually get the job, which is a big deal. I mean, this industry, we make a lot of money pouring liquid into a glass, which is bizarre. I mean, I'm not complaining. I did it for years and I made a lot of money doing it. We make a lot more money than some of these people who, pay for $100,000 for an education, and now they're working and actually making less money. So this is the reason bartending schools are out there. The industry is huge. People want to get into it, and they are taking advantage of it. So I don't really have a problem with the skills they teach, but I do have a problem with some of the other lies they tell. So let's kind of get into those right now. All right, lie number 1. You need to memorize thousands of drink recipes. Wrong answer. All right, I'm almost certain that bartending schools do this to make themselves seem impressive, and they make this extra money off these exclusive PDFs and these CDs they offer with 10,000 drink recipes on there. But I'll tell you, they're worthless. All right, throw out the 9,900 recipes and keep the top 100. That's all you need. And the reason why is because about 70% of the drinks you make are going to be Jack and Cokes, gin and tonics, vodka sodas, shot of Jaeger. These are most of the drinks orders in bars, and then you have some other fluffy drinks that you'll make. But I'm pretty sure you can figure out these simple ones, these shots and these simple mixed drinks. And if you can't figure it out, don't bother trying to become a bartender, because you probably couldn't get a job counting cars go by. So you do not need this giant DVD set or cocktail recipe book with 2,000 drink recipes. Don't get caught in by this. It's not that important. They love to brag about it. You already have a giant database of drink recipes. It's called Google. All you got to do is look it up. If you don't know what Google is, Google it and find out. The only problem with Google is if you put in a drink recipe, there's all these different sites that have different recipes, and it's hard to find the right one sometimes. So you do have to be careful about that. But there's no guarantee that a bartending school is going to have it right either. So moving on. Lie number 2. You will receive a super cool certificate that is incredibly valuable. Strike 2. All right, this could be the same certificate you received at summer camp for that rawhide wallet you stitched for your dad. It says, "Thanks for participating. Now here's a piece of paper we created in a Word document to make you feel more important than you are." All right, getting that certificate is like getting a participation trophy. You showed up, you didn't really do anything, but you still got a trophy just like everyone else on the team. And really, certificates, they just aren't important at all. And the reason why is they're not a bartending license, first of all. You don't need a bartending license to bartend. This is a question I get a lot. You don't need them. All right, you might need an alcohol awareness class. Some states require that, which is a good thing.
they teach you how to not overserve people, and they teach you what alcohol does to the body. But you don't need a license like you would if you were going to be a lawyer and you had to study for the bar and then go in. You don't need that to become a bartender. All right, and bartenders that claim that they have these they're accredited from certain people and they have these certificates, it doesn't mean anything. The accreditation in this industry does not mean anything. You have no idea where it's coming from. Managers could care less if you have a certificate or not. They don't give a shit. And I got to tell you right now, if you show up to an interview with a bartending certificate, please contact me and let me know what time it is, because I want to be there to see the hiring manager's face. All right, when you show that to them as if you're all proud, like a proud second grader handing your schoolwork to your mom so she can hang it on the fridge, I want to be there. All right, I don't mean to sound cruel, but this manager will double over with laughter before crumpling up your certificate, and they'll throw it in as if they're playing garbage can basketball with it, and it's going to end up looking just like that crumpled piece of paper on the corner of the screen there. All right, so certificates, yeah, not good. This is worthless, but not nearly as worthless as the last lie they're going to tell you, which is, we will help you with job placement. Sorry, that's strike 3. You are out. Getting a job in a bar is one of the most highly coveted and highly paid positions there is in the working man's industry. All right, so they can't just call up a place and say, hey, I have 23 new graduates, can you hook them up with a job? It just doesn't work like that. It's great intentions, but it's terrible actions. Okay, bartending schools would do nothing more than give you a list of the bars in the area, and then they'll kick your ass to the door. They are a business that makes money by getting new recruits in to pay them so they can dazzle them with the skills and their massive list of drink recipes. We've already talked about that. And then once the class is over, they simply don't have time to get you a job, and they don't provide you with the skills to get a job yourself. So they show you the door and they get the new class of recruits in. So my point being, they're not all bad, but they're not all good either, and you're not guaranteed a job. So I have no problem with paying for education, paying to invest in bettering yourself. And in fact, we don't do it enough. We spend our credit cards on stupid things like clothes and buying shots for our friends. You should be paying to invest in your education. It's very important. But before you hand your money over, you want to make sure you know what you're getting and you're getting the most value for your dollar. So there are the 3 lies of bartending schools. I'm going to head out from behind my computer now, and we will finish up this lesson.
That's it. That's the end of today's lesson. Thanks for being here. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel to stay in touch. I want to remind you to do anything it takes to get where you want to be in life. Don't let anything hold you back. I also want you to do me a favor. If you feel like it, email me at dave@therealbarman.com. Today we talked about some fears maybe holding you back from becoming a bartender. Share any of your doubts and fears with me, or just share your number 1 fear and doubt so I can help you move past and start making some big money in a very short amount of time. Make sure to check out part 2 of the 3-part video series, Memorizing Drink Recipes. And finally, if you are interested in becoming a bartender in the Real Bar course, click on the box appearing in the video right now. Remember though that the course opens and closes every few weeks, so you have to click on there and see if registration's open right now. If not, you can join the waiting list and we'll email you as soon as it opens again. That's gonna do it from here. I'm Dave Allred, the Real Barman, signing off. I'm out.